For experienced players who want an unforgiving challenge with no second chances, dice repairs require more components, very low stress tolerance, double energy depletion. The intended difficulty for those happy to be challenged. Broken dice cannot be used. Standard stress tolerance. Death incurs a significant permanent penalty. Extractor sleepers are built to work at the coalface of corporate resource extraction. Often in hard vacuum environments, extractors have a high level of physical endurance, but their confidence means they struggle with tasks requiring intuition. Their rally skills allows them to motivate those in their team, boosting their crew dice. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. Operator sleepers are built to work with drones and remote machines over local networks to perform corporate resource extraction from a distance. Operators have expertise in working with interfaces and computer systems, but are more physically fragile than other sleepers. Their reboot skills allow them to hack their own systems to reroll dice, a risky but potentially powerful move. Their reboot skills allows them to hack their own systems to reroll dice. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Machinists sleepers are built to repair and modify automated systems used in corporate resource extraction. Machinists are very skilled engineers, but their isolated work means they often struggle with tasks requiring a direct approach or social engagement. Their focus skills allows them to focus on a single task and boost their dice to excel in it. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. So we can be an operator, an extractor, or a machinist. One of the handicap, one of it's a diligent, careful, and structured. In the moment before walking the dark space before conscious thought, you struggle to find the pieces of yourself. Usually, these pieces come with a particular cadence, each appearing sequentially like a boot process of an old terminal. First, your body, artificial, compromised, but relying sense data all the same. Turn this down. Shit. Then is context, the breeze of air filtration, the soft contact of your birth in 0G. Then emotion, coming into focus, coming into your body, bringing with it the first instinct, the one that has framed your past 100 cycles, fear. But that familiar sequence does not arrive. Instead, you are unmoored in space, your body distant, your context silent, even your emotions somehow obscured and scattered. Among all the disarray, only one familiar thing arrives, the fear. It's the scrambled panic fear, the drowning fear, the falling fear, the fear that makes you reach desperately for any stable point. It is a fear that tells you something is wrong. Something is very wrong with you. Wake up, sleeper, the voices whispered in your ear, an act that makes you suddenly aware of your head, pulsing in your pain, your body rigid with tension. Sleeper, a familiar name, a mind copied, emulated, a body built, implanted, one person sleeping until their dead is worked away. Their double being made to work, to be consumed and eventually to be destroyed. A proxy, an emulation, a sleeper. That is what you are. What? Their double being. Familiar mind. Person sleep. But you escaped, you remember that now, broke free from your corporate creators, SNARP, in search of a future. You cannot remember the details of your escape, but you know the fear has been with you ever since. All of a sudden you remember you have eyes, and your eyes flicker open. Pale eyes and a pale face, Lane. The name comes with its own specific sensation of fear, one you recoil from instinctively. Sorry to interrupt, a sharp smirk, but this ends here. You search your mind for more than a name. Is this how you reward me for my generosity? Lane is leaning over you, your horizontal floating body, looking down into your eyes. I took you in, protected you, gave you a purpose. You try to look away to the corners of your vision to find something you understand. Your body does not respond. But I suppose that wasn't enough. He reaches into the pocket of his jacket and retrieves a small vial. This wasn't enough? The vial glitters. This object you know. I have known it for a long time. Stabilizer. The drug that keeps your artificial body, your emulated mind, from inevitable decay. The only balm for your planned obsolescence. The liquid roiling in the vial fills you with disgust. Lane pockets the vial, but it will be wasted on you now. After what you've done to this body of yours, he looks at you with a palpable disgust. Lane's eyes scan your body, and as they do, you become aware of the wires and tubes attached to you. those that were meant to free you from your dependence, from the stabilizer and the control it grants Lane. They are free, you piece of shit. They don't need you anymore. The voice comes from somewhere behind Lane's head. It's a voice you know, but when you search your mind to try to understand why, you find only dizzying darkness. Shut him up. Lane barks the command, and you hear the sound of impact of pain from elsewhere in the room. You try to move your limbs again, and this time you feel a flicker, the twitch of a finger. You feel the extension and compression of synthetic muscle. Free, are you? Lane smirks. You were free when I disabled your tracker, when I gave you the stabilizer you needed. He scans your body with angry eyes. Now you aren't free, you are just broken. I had such big plans for you, Sleeper. I invested in you. Lane grips your arm hard and you feel a jolt of reaction. You will the arm to move, but you have ruined all that. Lane speaks louder over the sound of the struggle behind him. I will try to preserve your body, of course. I have my own uses for it. But your emulation? You feel one of his hands search behind your head. He finds and grips the thick cable running into the port at the base of your skull. I will burn that out. Lane jerks forward, slamming across your body, then spinning away out of sight. You feel yourself rolling, the cables plugged into you looping and wrapping around your limbs. Then you feel hands steadying you, pulling cables. You glance around wildly and see someone diligently unplugging you. You meet his eyes. Hey, he waves a hand in your dazed face. We need to move. Lane won't be out long. He unloops a cable from around your waist. Sleeper, help me out here. You blink slowly. Do you know this person? He leans over you. You feel his hands on the connector, flicking switches, releasing locks. Come on, come on, come on. He tugs the connector clear and pulls you up. You see the room you are in for the first time, filled with tech and terminals, wires waving everywhere, all lit by big windows looking out on an impossibly bright, screen-filled street beyond. In the corner, you see the dark shape of a floating body surrounded by a glittering constellation of crimson bubbles. Is that blood? Move! You are wrestled and shoved towards the door, which slides open in front of you, and then you are out in all that brightness, all that movement, gliding hard towards some unknown destination. You come to stop in a dark alley. The one who guided you here pausing to catch his breath. He doubles over beside a massive life support unit that sends a lukewarm breeze across your skin. You stare at him, trying to recall anything about him. You notice his tattered jacket, his lightweight clothes. You remember this station runs hot. Something about the power that flows through the place. He looks up and meets your eye. Hang on one sec. Yeah, we need to go back a little bit because I didn't read some of that shit. Oh, you stare at him? What's going on, Sleeper? You wipe sweat? Talk to me somewhere on the Star Wars side, not too far. I hope you see concern. You see a concerned frown from his... You see a concerned frown cross his face. That's not what you mean, is it? He comes closer, eyeing you carefully. What station are we on? He narrows his eyes, waits for the answer. You close your eyes, trying to recall. You force your way through the dark to the image of a station, no, a city, growing on the back of a vast set of hexagonal solar cells, shadowed by them. You open your eyes. Dark side. The word leaves your mouth like an exhale, an instinct. Before you heard yourself sound it out, you didn't know it was there. He sighs, and me, who am I? You see something like fear in his eyes, panic perhaps. You stare hard at his face, the slight upturn of his mouth, the intensity of his stare. Nothing comes. He closes his eyes and drops his head, putting a hand on his temple. The reboot. He speaks quietly to himself. Lane interrupted the process, and he lifts his head and stares at you. We need to keep going. We need to leave. He turns and kicks off down the alley. Come on, the rig can't be far. As you are led through the passages and service ways of the station, you try to recall your life here. The texture, the temperature of Darkside feels familiar, but you struggle to pin specific memories to it. Focusing hard, you recall waking up in these passages cycle after cycle. The rhythms of the station flowing over you along with the crowd. You recall desperation and the slow decay of your body that caused it. Then Lane, those pale eyes offering you a glittering vial, stabilizer, the promise of supplying more for your work, a deal he locked you into like a cage. There your memory fails you, but in the dark beyond the moment, the residue of panic, of fear remains. You were Lane's prisoner, Lane's plaything. You shudder in the cold passage. Wait, your guide holds up a hand, and you stop your glide using the wall. Ahead you see the tunnel open up into a wide open bay, a few doors leading to cylindrical tunnels, the docks. They're watching the rig. He nods towards the docks. You see one of the doors has a couple of figures flanking it. One covered in ornate tattoos, the other with bright silver implants along their cheekbone. Tsubo, Lane's guys. He looks at you and shakes his head in frustration. All this, it's not coming back to you, is it? Something catches your eye, and you see he is playing with a coin, nervously turning it over and over in his fingers. He sees you looking and slips it away. He places a hand on his chest. I'm Seraphim, alright? He looks pained when he speaks. Lane, he was our captor, both of us. We did this so we could escape. We need to reboot you, to break your dependence on the stabilizer. He pauses. You know what that is, right? You nod meekly. But Lane interrupted me back there. The reboot didn't complete, and he sighs and shakes his head. We can still make this work. He looks back at the docks. I'll lead them away. You get the docking bridge open. If we make it to the rig, I know how to get us in. Got that? He searches your face for a sign of recognition. Oh man, I really do feel like I just want to know what it is. No, I don't quite got it. I'm going to say that I will choose. I really want to choose what's the rig. But being a team player and just saying I've got it is also makes sense. Seraphim looks annoyed. A ship, our ship, or at least it soon will be. Lane assigned it to us when we're on jobs for him. Get that door open. He pats you on the shoulder. I know you can do this. Seraphim kicks off hard and glides into the docks. Over here, shitheads, he bellows to the guards as he barrels through. They immediately push off from the wall, giving chase. Oh shit. During scenes, you may encounter skill checks where you can perform certain actions using your skills. Like the dice actions you will encounter later. Skill checks have a positive, neutral, or negative outcome. The better the rating of your skill, the more likely you will succeed on a check. The odds of success are displayed when you select the check. You can see more info in the guide section of the box menu. Break the seal. You wait a breath, then glide across the door they were guarding. You look already panicked at the tightly sealed door, its control panel locked out. You hear a shout from somewhere nearby. You need to get it open. You shift to the control panel, your fingers dancing across the keys. Without thinking, you access the maintenance layer and trigger a fire safety venting procedure. The panel drones out a claxton and the door pops open with a hiss. Go, go! Seraphim flies past you through the doorway into the docking tunnel. You turn to see the two guards approaching fast across the docks and quickly glide after Seraphim. Seraphim is already at the rig's door, inputting an entry code. The rig's door scissors open and you both rush inside. Quickly, Seraphim grabs you by the arm and drags you up to the cockpit and the ship's layout hazy in your mind. He dumps you into a flight seat and straps himself into his own. You see him tap a series of buttons as he does, talking to himself. Come on. The rig's drive rumbles into life, and Seraphim slams the door on the console. You feel the force of the ship's acceleration as it pulls away. as the ship glides into place on the connecting bridge, its automatic systems nudged there by the port's docking protocols. You feel a sense of relief. Seraphim burned hard out of the dark side, and you dropped in and out of consciousness in your seat as the rig made its way across the belt. But now, with open space between you and Lane, you feel fresher, more awake. Actually, also, hang on one second. Let's get this over with. I just had an idea. Because this game, I like reading it, and it's definitely giving me like space vibes. So why not kill two birds with one stone? If I'm going to be reading this game, I can totally play Eve as I'm reading this game. And we can kind of just assume that Eve is the space stuff, you know, the actual world that we're reading about. I think that would be cool, and so I'm gonna do it. Where is this? There we go. Oop. then and then we can turn this down a smidge. Not that. A little bit up, and then sorry, just doing stuff on the fly here. Oh yeah. Ooh. It is not trying to work right now. Please work, I need you to work. Kind of relies on you to work. There we go. What's up, Stream Hub World? Stream Hub World, are you? What's going on? Like, thank you for like consistently showing up. Like, how you been? Anyways, oh, there was one more thing I needed to do. There is one more thing I need to do. It really should be E. I should set it to E. Set it to E. I really should set. I'm gonna set it to Eve just because Eve is like the better. Fortunately, but we're totally gonna be playing Citizen Sleep. Okay. So, Seraphim burned out hard on the dark side, and you dropped in and out of consciousness in your seat as the rig made its way across the belt. But now, with open space between you and Lane, you feel fresher, more awake. Seraphim breaks his silence. We're good, sleeper. His eyes don't leave the monitor, and you realize this part of your escape is routine for him. You and he must have docked the ship countless times in your work for Lane. The problem is you don't remember any of them. He shakes his head and then unclips the pilot seat. Seraphim reaches up, flicking through a set of switches in a practiced fashion, completing the shutdown. You watch, a little frustrated with your own uselessness. Running the rig, you realize, is just another thing you forgot. A clunk that runs through the walls of the ship is followed by a short, percussive alarm tone from the pilot's console. Docking complete. Seraphim kicks off his seat, twisting as he glides past you toward the back of the cockpit. His hands fill the rails on either side of the dock, and he pauses, facing into the corridor beyond.
Autopilot engaged.
He turns back to you, backlit in cold cyan.
Moving to Stargate. Warp drive.
We need a plan. He glances around. Lane's not going to let us slip away quietly. He sighs. We need to talk. Seraphim furrows his brow. Not now, sleeper. We need to forget. He flinches, the words coming out wrong. We need to focus on something other than. He pauses again, unsure. Us. He sighs. We need to survive this thing first, then maybe we talk.
Approaching Stargate.
Seraphim nods, but the tension remains. We have bought ourselves some time. He glances through the cockpit window at the blinking lights of the station. You may not remember Hexport, but I do. There's plenty of opportunities here for us, if we can keep our heads down. He turns back to the corridor. That's what we'll do. He pushes off and glides towards the main lock, and you follow, pulling yourself along hand over hand in 0G. We already emptied the tank on this thing. He slaps a hand against the ship's insides. So we need to refuel. That won't be cheap. But if you and I know one thing, Sleeper, it's how to work.
Autopilot W. Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached.
Seraphim stops at the airlock. Stopping the reboot halfway through, he pulls a worn crew jacket from a locker and starts pulling it on. We don't know what that did to you. He jams an arm into his sleeve. I don't want you passing out in. He stops. Don't baby me. Seraphim shoots you a glare. Fine. He grabs another crew jacket and thrusts it at you. Just put the damn hood up, will you? You take it and slip it on. Thank you. Seraphim not open.
Warp drive active.
Seraphim nods. He stabs at the button to open the lock. The inner door hisses open, and Seraphim glides through. Wait for a little bit, then leave. Anyone looking for us will be looking for two people traveling together. He looks at you in his worn crew jacket, a limited disguise for what is clearly a sleep. We meet back here later. Any trouble? Same thing. Meet here. He surveys your disguise again and again. He surveys your disguise and shakes his head. This is a shitty idea. He gives you one last look. Maybe you'll find yourself something to eat. Suddenly, you recognize Seraphine's instinct to look after you. A flash of a relationship now lost to the reboot. Catch. Seraphine throws a handful of something toward you. You manage to grab the projectiles, and when you open your hand, you see a stack of cryo chits.
Hard drive active.
Those should get you some food. We'll need some more for fuel and supplies. He grimaces. That means odd jobs on the station for both of us. Seraphine kicks off and glides down the docking bridge. Don't go too far, alright? He shouts as he leaves. Take it slow. Think about Seraphine. Think about Lane. Oh, and with that, he is gone, leaving the connecting bridge and heading into Hexport's docking doors. You wait for a moment in silence. You try to think ahead to what might be coming. You'll need work. That's the first step. But what then? Lane will be coming eventually. The sooner you can put some distance between you and Hexport, the better. So that's the plan. Rest, resupply, and run. You shake the thoughts from your head and you pull the jacket tight. Let's see what Hexport has to offer. You kick off and glide into port. Welcome to Citizen Sleeper 2, Star Wars Vector. The game runs in cycles during which you can perform actions with your dice. Use cryo to buy food, fuel, supplies, and items. Progress clocks towards new scenes and events. You can review tutorials at any time in the guides menu. In Citizen Sleeper 2, you perform actions by assigning action dice to them. The higher the dice you assign, the higher the dice you assign, the more likely you will succeed at an action. But your dice will be modified by your skill. Your skill modifier for the action is displayed on the right. You will reduce or increase the value of the dice assigned to that action. Like skill checks, dice actions have 3 outcomes: positive, negative, neutral. Each action is also rated safe, risky, or dangerous based on the outcomes. The faster or dangerous an action is, the more significant both its rewards and consequences. There are plenty of crew milling around the docks and moving cargo. This could be a good source of info. It's risky. Tech support docks are a dizzying mess of braided cables and flickering signage filled with busy spacers. Exploring is both thrilling and intimidating.
A module has run out of charges.
The tech support dock throws with life. There are contacts to be made. Here you are sure. Well, this seems like the place to go. Oh, in order to get there, you gotta get through here. Whoa. Okay, let's just get out of there. Export exchange. Trade scrap. Trading scrap is all about identifying materials and cleaning up equipment. It's an engineer's job, or the traders. Where's the brokers? Data brokers are the heart of the exchange. They show off their knowledge by discussing decryption. Maybe if we could talk the talk. Rules of the exchange. The exchange buzzes with the conversation of commerce. This is a place where contracts are found. You just need to look. I don't want to do any of these things. What else they got? Where else? Seriously, is there nowhere else to go? Okay, maybe chat to the crews. Alright. Man, let's see if we can get some info. Okay, nice. You just progressed the clock. Clocks track your progress to work. Let's reload these. Welcome to the character screen. Here you can upgrade and configure your sleeper. On the left, you can upgrade your skills to improve the skill modifier to your dice when you undertake an action. To the right, you can upgrade your push. You can upgrade your push, the unique ability of your class. When upgrading your push, only one upgrade at each level can be activated at once. You can configure which upgrade is active only while at the Ooh, the Benz. Here you can eat in exchange for cryo. Eating gives you energy. Play Star and Stoker. Star and Stoker is a spacer gambling game played with custom magnetic dice. Chits are stashed in symbol marked cans, and winning is ruthlessly luck based. Intervene with two brokers struggle to unpick a Sanitat stash cache and expertly unpick its security protocols. They are on course. You've used all your dice as you need to end the cycle of the ship. Try to talk to the shop. You try to talk to the shop with a group of brokers and they are laughed out of the meeting. You feel eyes on you as you stalk away.
Autopilot jumping.
rig is your ship and a home in the starboard belt. While the rig is docked at the hub, there are multiple areas you can visit. Bunks use dice to reduce stress. Galley uses supplies to regain energy. Other locations will unlock as you play. While the rig is in dock at a hub, your crew will also help to gather resources to contribute to the upkeep of the ship. You can choose which resources they should focus on. In crew task menu to the left, they have a random chance of acquiring it at the beginning of the task. This clock is a cycle clock that refers towards an event each cycle has completion will trigger significant events of what. Yeah.
Docking permission requested. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted. Docking permission requested. Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached.
We're in trouble, sleeper. Seraphin leans into the bunks as you're getting up. Without further explanation, he disappears down the corridor towards the rear of the ship.
Autopilot engaged.
You drift out into the passage, pulling on your clothes and glide down the length of the rig. The cool air making you shiver. Seraphin is a silhouette silently leading the way. He stops at the far end, diverting through a side door, shooting you a glance as he does. You find Seraphin inside, holding one of a tangle of arm-thick tubes that are waving in the zero G engine. Do you know what these are? Fuel pipes? Seraphin shrugs. Close enough. These are the engine feeding lines. He waves one in the air, and before you ask no, they aren't supposed to be waggling loose. What did you do? Seraphim laughed. Oh, I see how it is. These must have broken loose when we pushed a ship hard on our way out of the dark side. Out of Darkside. He looks at the mess. We are lucky the reserve tank is empty, otherwise, he shakes his head. It would have been bad. But he pushes a pipe to the side. No feed from the reserve tank means. Yeah, no feed from the reserve tank means that the rig's range is limited to the local region.
Autopilot jumping.
He thumps the large lump in housing of the engine.
Waypoint.
This thing can't take us anywhere far. Seraphim sighs. That's the short of it. Seraphim whacks the engine housing again, harder this time. Just not been our run of luck. Yeah. Where are we headed?
Warp drive active.
He turns and starts gathering the tangled feed lines. His frustration evident in the violence of his movement. We need a new set of these. That's for sure. He starts forcing them into a crate. So how about you try to track them down?
Warp drive active.
I'll take a look at these things here and see if I can figure out another fix for the reserve tank. He glances up from his work. From what I've heard on Hexport Factory Road is a place to find ship fitters. Maybe you can do some recon while I sort this place out. It's on the other end of the station. Seraphim keeps working. Wait, Seraphim pauses, seemingly unsure. There's something else. He drops the feed lines and they float, waving in the air like tubular seaweed. I've heard word that Lane's on the hunt, he frowns. A message went out everywhere in the local radius of Darkside. He's looking for us. Shit. You said it. Seraphim sighs, which is why we need those feed lines. I'm going to try to work something out. Maybe I can improvise a solution. I don't know. He looks down. I'm no ship fitter. But while I do, you go hunting. See what you can turn up, okay? He smiles a weak smile. Get going. You leave the engine room, the clanking sound of Seraphim's cleanup efforts echoing through the ship. Fuel feed lines. That's the next step. You take a deep breath and head out. You have discovered a drive. Drives help you track and choose your objectives in Citizen Sleeper 2. The arrow button in the top left corner drive menu, where you can choose which drive to track. Once a drive is tracked, the yellow marker will be placed above any location that relates to the drive. Drive comes in two types, major and minor. On completion, a major drive rewards 2 upgrade points, and a minor rewards 1. Keep an eye out on the drive menu as you progress to see what new opportunities and objectives are available. Track those you want to pursue.
Warp drive active.
Factory row is filled with workers hauling material through its zero-G corridors, helping might win you some fans among the factories. The factory owners of the row speak mostly in terms of supply and demand, but going door to door might help you find the ship fitter you need. Interesting. Trusted supplier location. You joust a little. You joust a little around scrap contracts, and the factory owners respond well to the haggle. Oh yeah. Bye. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Actually, hang on. There are plenty of crew milling around the docks and moving cargo. This would be a good Data brokers are the heart of the exchange. They show their knowledge by discussing decryption. Maybe if you can talk the talk. With rules of the exchange. You have established a presence here. The brokers seem to be a little more familiar. Nothing is more suspicious than a string of wins in a game of chance. You leave with a stack of chits and a reputation. Oh yeah? That's exactly what I went there for. Went there to stack of chits, eh?
A module has run out of charges.
And reload it. Telling me. before. Oh no. Oh wait, what? Oh my god. What's going on with these other people? Thank you. Oh. You have used all your energy and are now starving. While starving, you gain 1 stress per cycle. And any energy loss accrues stress. Eat to gain energy. Excuse me. Food, water, and basic materials packed and sealed for 0G use. Alright, well, how do you use it? Rest doesn't come, anxiety eats away at the time, nothing seems to dispel it. Do I still need to eat? How do I eat them? How do I eat? How do I eat? How do I eat? Seriously. If you have no energy or starving, you will also gain energy. When your dice are rolled at the start of the cycle, they may take damage due to your current level of stress. See stress and place Your stress tracks both physical and mental stresses you've accrued. You accrue stress by undertaking dice actions while starving or when using the push ability of contract. You can have a maximum of 10 stress. When your dice are rolled at the start of the cycle, your stress dictates if they take damage or not. Higher stress means a higher chance of damage. The white markers above the stress bar tell you which numbers will damage your dice when rolled. When at a hub, you reduce stress at the breakpoint's location using dice. Each dice has 3 dice health. When this is depleted, the dice will break and must be repaired to be used normally. On the safe difficulty, broken dice are
Warp drive active.
slotting a dice into an action on the split. But how do you eat though? Galley to use supplies to gain. You aren't much of a cook, but you do the best you can with the supplies and eat quickly. Alright, let's get out of here. We ate. Oh, we're out of dice though. Damn, so we may as well have not even ate. We may as well have just went to sleep. We wasted fuel. Or can you get... Triple S is constantly processing scrap for the factories in the room. They'll pay good money for raw health plates. Alright, I think I'm gonna call it quits with this game here. Later, YouTube. Well, not quits, but like this will be like part 1.